Live from the KATC TV3 studios, this is Acadiana's News Channel at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. This weekend, members of Congress have a big decision to consider.
A vote on military action in Syria could come as early as next week, and it's going to be a big week for the nation. Lawmakers return to the Capitol on Monday from summer recess, and on Tuesday, President Obama will address the nation and once again make his case from the White House. The exact timing is unclear, but it's believed the earliest day the Senate could hold a procedural vote on the Syria authorization bill would be Wednesday. Polls have shown Americans consistently oppose intervention in Syria, so why even consider getting involved in another country's civil war? Tonight, Alex Labat reports on the issues that have caught the attention of the United States.
In order to understand where we are now, we have to turn back the clocks all the way back to the 1920s.
The idea behind that the international community should ban chemical weapons was a direct result of the use of chemical weapons in World War I. You have the use of mustard gas in trench warfare. It turns out, yes, mustard gas is a very unpleasant way to kill people, and it's highly effective, but it's also not very geographically stable.
After realizing the costly effects of chemical weapons, world leaders agreed not to use them in 1925. But it wasn't until 1993 when that agreement was formally documented at the Chemical Weapons Convention.
It's the early 90s that this discussion finally happened, the treaties put in place. It has had profound acceptance. The number of states that have not ratified the Chemical Weapons Convention is in the single digits. Unfortunately, Syria is one of them.
Fast forward 20 years and the country is in the midst of the Arab Spring, a revolution that's cost thousands of lives.
So far, as of, I think, July, the latest number of dead in Syria is over 100,000.
Included in those killed are 1,400 men, women, and children the U.S. says it can prove were killed with deadly sarin gas, which leads us to today.
So getting involved is risky because there's no clear path to victory. On the other hand, the Obama administration believes doing nothing is more risky because then you've let that precedent of somebody using chemical weapons go unchecked. And what happens if we don't rebuke somebody who used a weapon of mass destruction?
Alex Labat, KATC, TV3.
And as for the president's address on Tuesday, President Obama says his goal is to convince war-weary Americans and lawmakers that military intervention is the right thing to do. Speaking at the G20 summit in Russia today, the president says the U.S. cannot stand by and do nothing after the alleged use of chemical weapons by the regime of Bashar al-Assad.
I put this before Congress for a reason. I think we will be more effective and stronger if, in fact, Congress authorizes this action. I'm not going to engage in parlor games now, Jonathan, about whether or not it's going to pass. When I'm talking substantively to Congress about why this is important.
Here's Daniel's 24